The secret has been hiding in plain sight for centuries, and most people pass right by it. The three I/Atlas isn't just a symbol carved in stone or whispered in old texts. It is a key to understanding the weight we carry, the choices we make, and the hidden power waiting inside each of us. For centuries, seekers of truth have overlooked its deeper meaning, distracted by surface-level interpretations that miss the ancient wisdom embedded in its essence. In this video, you will uncover truths that almost no one talks about. You will learn how the three I, intention, insight, and integrity, form a spiritual compass, guiding every step of life with clarity and purpose. You will see how carrying the Atlas within is not a burden, but a path to mastery, a discipline that strengthens not only the body, but the mind and spirit. There are lessons from Shaolin practice, shadows within ourselves, and patterns in life that most never notice, yet they shape everything we experience. By the end, you will understand how to align your inner world with your outer actions, how subtle shifts in awareness can transform struggle into freedom, and how embracing these hidden principles can awaken your true potential. The truths revealed here are urgent, subtle, and powerful. They are waiting for those who are ready to notice, to feel, and to act with quiet strength. If you stay with me until the end, these lessons will begin to open a door within, showing a path few ever walk. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, a place where ancient wisdom meets daily life. Subscribe now and step into the journey of awakening and mastery that begins here, in this moment with the three I/Atlas. Every person carries a world upon their shoulders, though few truly feel its weight. The Atlas within is not a myth of muscle or bone. It is the silent burden of consciousness, the collection of thoughts, emotions, and choices that shape every step we take. Each worry, each fear, each unspoken truth presses down, and yet it is not meant to crush us. It is meant to teach us how to stand. In the Shaolin tradition, strength is measured not by the arms, but by the mind and spirit. A monk lifts no greater weight than the one he bears within, and yet he moves with calm, with presence, with discipline. Endurance is not the mere act of surviving, it is the art of balancing, of observing the tension without resisting it. Every step, every breath, every motion is an exercise in embracing the invisible weight. The human experience mirrors Atlas's struggle. The more we resist our inner burdens, the heavier they become. But when we learn to meet them with awareness, with intention, with courage, a strange alchemy occurs. The weight transforms from a source of suffering into a source of strength. Every shadow within, every unresolved thought, every trembling fear becomes a pillar upon which mastery is built. To carry the Atlas within is to accept that power is not found in avoiding difficulty, but in understanding it. The world we carry is the world we create, and mastery begins the moment we stop fleeing from our inner landscapes. Awareness turns the burden into a teacher. Discipline turns the weight into endurance. Presence turns the challenge into freedom. In this way, the Atlas within is both a challenge and a gift. It asks for nothing less than honesty with oneself, and in return it grants the profound strength that no mere training, no fleeting effort can ever give. It is here, in the quiet recognition of our own weight, that the path of mastery truly begins. Every journey begins not with a step, but with a thought. Intention is the silent architect of life, shaping each choice before it becomes action. In the quiet moments when the mind is still, the power of intention reveals itself. Every thought carries energy. Every decision sends ripples through the fabric of our experience. To move without clear intention is to drift, to react, to serve forces outside oneself rather than the quiet guidance within. In the practices of ancient masters, awareness of intention was sacred. Shaolin monks teach that a single deliberate breath, a focused movement, or a mindful strike carries more strength than hundreds performed without thought. It is not the force that matters, but the clarity behind it. Discipline is born from this alignment, for only when thought, action, and energy converge does mastery emerge. Misaligned intention is subtle yet powerful. It creates invisible obstacles, tensions that weigh on the spirit, patterns that repeat unseen, a kind act done from pride, a decision made from fear, a pursuit driven by distraction. Each creates resistance in the mind and in life. Like a river blocked by stones, energy slows, clarity fades, and the flow of potential is diverted. To cultivate true intention is to pause, to observe the inner currents and to direct them consciously. It is to recognize the difference between what arises from habit and what is chosen with awareness. This is the practice of inner mastery, understanding that the world we shape begins in silence, in the alignment of our own heart and mind. When intention is clear, life moves with effortless grace. Each action becomes purposeful, each choice rooted in presence. The unseen currents of energy begin to work in harmony, and the path forward, though challenging, unfolds with precision. In this way, intention is not merely a thought, it is the foundation upon which all mastery is built. True vision begins, not with the eyes, but with the mind. Insight is the quiet ability to see beyond the surface, to notice the subtle movements of thought, the hidden currents of emotion, and the patterns that shape our lives. It asks for presence, patience, and the courage to observe without interference. The world appears as it is only when the mind stops rushing and begins to watch. Shaolin masters have long taught that the mind is like water. Still, it reflects the world clearly. Turbulent, it distorts every image. To gain insight, one must learn to watch without judgment. Thoughts arise like clouds across a sky, neither good nor bad, yet each carries a message. By observing them without grasping or rejecting, clarity emerges. The small tremors of fear, the whispers of desire, the hidden resistance in daily habits, all become visible to those who cultivate awareness. Insight is not passive. It is an active practice of inner mastery. Patterns that once went unnoticed now stand in sharp relief. Shadows that lurk behind habits and fears are revealed, and the hidden truths of the self come into view. This is the knowledge that cannot be taught in words alone. It is experienced through disciplined observation, through the steady alignment of attention and presence. With insight, life becomes a teacher rather than a puzzle. Every challenge, every encounter, every quiet moment holds a lesson for those who see clearly. The invisible threads that connect thought, action, and consequence are revealed, allowing one to navigate life with precision and wisdom. In the cultivation of insight, discipline is not external. It is the gentle, consistent practice of returning attention to the present again and again. In this reflection, the mind becomes a mirror, showing not only the world as it is, but the self as it truly exists. Through this understanding, mastery of life begins not through force, but through seeing, knowing, and embracing the truth within. Integrity is the quiet alignment of thought, speech, and action. It is more than honesty. It is the seamless harmony between what is felt within and what is expressed in the world. When intention, awareness, and behavior move together, the mind and spirit flow as one. This unity brings a clarity that cannot be forced, a strength that emerges naturally from balance and discipline. In the teachings of ancient masters, integrity is considered the foundation of all mastery. A warrior, a monk, or a seeker who acts out of alignment weakens the very force they carry. Words spoken without feeling, actions taken without awareness, thoughts held without truth, each creates friction in the mind, a resistance in the spirit. Over time, these small misalignments accumulate like cracks in a stone path until progress slows and energy becomes trapped in patterns of doubt and conflict. Living with integrity transforms every moment into practice. Every choice is deliberate, every gesture sincere, every word and action reflective of inner truth. It is a discipline of presence, a vigilance of the heart. The alignment of inner and outer life is not rigid. It is fluid, responsive, and aware, yet rooted in steadfastness. Like water following the contours of the land, it adapts without losing form, moving with both grace and purpose. Neglecting integrity, on the other hand, leaves one unmoored. The mind becomes a battlefield of contradictions, the spirit burdened by the weight of inconsistency. Opportunities falter, relationships strain, and the path toward mastery becomes obscured. Without integrity, effort is scattered. With integrity, every step forward resonates with clarity and power. Through the cultivation of this principle, inner mastery emerges naturally. Discipline becomes a reflection of truth, and life itself turns into a mirror of harmony. Integrity is the bridge between thought and action, inner and outer, potential and reality. It is the quiet power that guides a life of purpose, strength, and freedom. When the three principles of intention, insight, and integrity come together, they form a compass for the soul. Each alone is powerful, yet incomplete. Intention gives direction, insight provides awareness, and integrity ensures alignment. Like 3 points of a triangle, they support one another, creating a stable structure upon which life can be navigated with clarity and purpose. In the wisdom of Shaolin, mastery is never one-dimensional. Strength without awareness leads to recklessness. Awareness without disciplined action becomes idle. Action without alignment creates chaos. Just as a monk balances mind, body, and spirit through years of practice, the three I guide the inner journey, shaping thought, perception, and conduct into a harmonious whole. When intention is clear, insight allows the subtle currents of life to be seen, and integrity carries those insights into action. The triad becomes a living system, a framework for making choices that reflect both inner truth and outer responsibility. Energy flows naturally, obstacles are recognized before they become barriers, and the weight of life is carried with grace rather than struggle. Yet, when one element is neglected, imbalance emerges. Intention without insight becomes blind force. Insight without integrity becomes mere observation disconnected from purpose. Integrity without intention drifts like a vessel without a rudder. The mind feels tension, the spirit senses discord, and the journey toward mastery is slowed by unseen friction. The three I are not just principles to understand, they are practices to embody. They require attention, reflection, and disciplined cultivation. When nurtured together, they become more than tools. They become a compass, silently guiding each decision, each movement, each breath. Through this alignment, the path forward is illuminated, steady, and true. In this triad, the hidden patterns of life reveal themselves, and the burden of existence transforms into a guide for conscious, purposeful living. Carrying the Atlas burden is not a punishment nor a weight to resist. It is a practice, a deliberate engagement with life, an invitation to move with awareness through every challenge and every moment. Each responsibility, each hidden tension, each unseen strain becomes a teacher when met with presence. The burden transforms from something heavy into a guide, showing the path to inner strength. In the teachings of Shaolin, movement is never separate from mindfulness. Every step, every stance, every breath is an opportunity to cultivate attention. A monk walking through the temple does not merely move. He flows with awareness, feeling the ground beneath his feet, sensing the balance of his body, listening to the rhythm of his own breathing. Even the simplest gesture becomes a meditation, a bridge between the inner and outer worlds. Mindfulness in motion is not confined to formal practice. Washing a bowl, walking through a garden, or lifting an arm becomes sacred when approached with deliberate presence. The ordinary turns extraordinary, the mundane becomes meaningful, and every action carries the energy of conscious intent. Life itself becomes the dojo, a space where the body, mind, and spirit train together. This practice requires discipline, not force. It asks for patience, returning attention again and again when the mind wanders. It cultivates an inner steadiness that no external circumstance can disturb. In this way, the Atlas burden is carried not with strain, but with grace. The weight of life becomes a rhythm, the tension a teacher, and every movement a reflection of mastery. Through mindfulness in motion, the ordinary becomes a mirror for the soul. Awareness turns struggle into lesson, effort into flow, and every step into a moment of awakening. The Atlas within is not a load to escape. It is a practice to embody, a path toward harmony, presence, and true mastery of self. True mastery begins in the quiet corners of the self, where shadows dwell. These are the thoughts we resist, the fears we ignore, the impulses we deny. To confront them is uncomfortable, even painful, yet it is the path that leads to freedom. The shadows are not enemies, they are parts of the whole self, holding lessons and truths that cannot be accessed through avoidance. Shaolin philosophy teaches that integration, not suppression, is the path to strength. A warrior does not strike only what is visible, he understands what lies beneath. The same principle applies within. By facing fear, anger, doubt, and hidden desires, the mind and spirit become whole. Each shadow embraced is a weight lifted, a tension released, and a layer of inner clarity revealed. Discipline is required, for the shadows do not surrender easily. They test patience, courage, and awareness, demanding steady attention and honest reflection. Avoidance, on the other hand, only deepens the burden. Hidden weights accumulate silently, like stones stacked unseen in the mind. They shape reactions, cloud judgment, and distort perception. Life becomes a series of subtle resistances, each one a reflection of unacknowledged inner truths. Without acknowledgement, the energy of these shadows seeps into every action, creating friction between thought, speech, and behavior. Confronting shadows is not an event, it is a practice. It is the steady return of attention to what is uncomfortable, the calm observation of inner turbulence, and the deliberate choice to face what is often ignored. In doing so, the mind becomes clear, the heart open, and the spirit resilient. The hidden part of the three I is revealed, not in comfort, but in courage. By embracing the whole self, including its darkness, mastery emerges, not through avoidance, but through understanding, acceptance, and the quiet strength born from true integration. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction, as something that binds or limits. Yet true discipline is the gateway to freedom. It is the practice of aligning action with purpose, of training the body and mind so that energy flows without obstruction. When external structures are embraced, not resisted, they cultivate an internal liberty that cannot be taken by circumstance or chance. The masters of Shaolin understood this paradox deeply. Repeated movements, strict schedules, and precise forms may appear rigid, yet within them lies the sharpening of mind and spirit. Constraints focus attention, repetition strengthens presence, and rules guide energy. Each act of discipline carves clarity into the mind, reveals hidden reservoirs of patience, and awakens powers that lie dormant until called forth. The more one practices, the more natural mastery becomes, until effort and ease converge. Carrying the Atlas burden is not a matter of resisting weight, but of meeting it with structure and awareness. Discipline becomes the tool that transforms struggle into strength. By establishing order in practice, by returning to effort consistently, hidden potential awakens. The burden is no longer a source of fatigue or fear. It becomes a mirror, showing the depth of one's capability and resilience. This path requires a subtle, steady presence. Discipline is not harsh or punitive. It is precise, calm, and deliberate. Each repetition, each moment of restraint is a cultivation of freedom, teaching the mind to move with clarity rather than chaos. Through structured effort, life's pressures are transformed into teachers, and the weight of responsibility reveals the hidden power of focus, perseverance, and conscious action. In this way, external discipline does not confine, it liberates. It aligns intention, strengthens insight, and fortifies integrity. The Atlas burden carried with wisdom, guided by steady discipline, becomes a practice of awakening, a path where limits dissolve and true inner freedom emerges. The principles of the three I, intention, insight, and integrity, are not meant to remain in thought alone. They are alive, waiting to be expressed in every moment, in every gesture, in every breath. To embody them is to bring awareness into daily life, to let each action reflect the alignment of mind, heart, and spirit. Begin with small, deliberate practices. Set your intention at the start of each day or before any task. Feel it clearly in your body, let it guide your choices, and return to it when distraction arises. Observe your mind throughout the day, watching thoughts without judgment, noticing impulses, patterns, and subtle reactions. Act with integrity, letting words, actions, and intentions move together, so that nothing is wasted and nothing contradicts itself. These exercises are simple yet profound. The repetition of small mindful acts builds a subtle transformation. Awareness sharpens, patience deepens, and energy begins to flow more freely. Life itself becomes a canvas for practice. Each conversation, each movement, each challenge, a chance to refine the harmony between inner and outer self. Over time, this daily embodiment shifts identity. The weight of life, the atlas within, feels lighter, not because circumstances change, but because perception does. Each burden carries lessons, each challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen presence. The mind grows steady, the heart open, and the spirit resilient. Actions become reflections of intention rather than reactions to circumstance. Through consistent attention, the three I cease to be abstract ideals and become lived reality. Discipline and mindfulness integrate seamlessly, and mastery emerges quietly without force. By inhabiting the three I moment to moment, life's pressures are transformed into a practice of presence, and the ordinary becomes sacred. Step by step, breath by breath, the self aligns with the deeper currents of life, and the weight of existence reveals its hidden purpose and power. True mastery is not a destination, it is a quiet unfolding. It is the slow, deliberate process of seeing fear, doubt, and old patterns for what they are, and learning to move beyond them. These shadows, once unexamined, shape life in ways we scarcely notice, but with awareness, discipline, and presence, they lose their power. Mastery is the gentle liberation of the mind and spirit from the unseen chains we carry. The three I and the atlas within work together as guides along this path. Intention illuminates the direction, insight reveals the hidden patterns, and integrity aligns thought and action. When these principles are lived consistently, the burden of life transforms. The atlas we carry becomes a teacher rather than a weight, a mirror reflecting both strength and clarity. Each challenge met with presence builds resilience. Each moment observed without judgment strengthens freedom. Spiritual freedom is subtle. It is not loud or sudden. It grows in quiet moments of choice, in the deliberate attention to thought and action, in the patience to endure and observe without losing balance. It is felt in the steadiness of breath, the calm of mind, and the integrity of each act. Through this ongoing practice, the self becomes refined, capable of meeting life with composure and clarity, no longer tossed by every impulse or circumstance. Mastery is deeply personal, unique to each path. It is shaped by the burdens one bears, the awareness one cultivates, and the discipline one practices. There is no universal formula, only principles lived with care, patience, and humility. In this transformation, the weight of existence becomes a guide. The shadows become teachers, and the currents of life flow with harmony. The journey is subtle, ongoing, and profound, revealing that true power is not in what is done for the world, but in what is mastered within. The hidden gift of the three I and the atlas within lies not in escaping life's burdens, but in learning to carry them with awareness, purpose, and grace. Intention guides every choice. Insight reveals the patterns within, and integrity aligns thought, word, and action. Mindfulness turns every movement into practice. Shadow work uncovers what was hidden. Discipline strengthens the spirit, and presence grounds the self in the now. The weight of life is not a curse, it is a teacher. Each challenge, each difficulty, each hidden tension offers the opportunity to grow stronger, clearer, and more aligned with the deepest currents of being. By embracing these principles, the atlas we carry becomes a path to inner mastery rather than a source of struggle. Take these lessons into your daily life. Observe your thoughts, set your intentions, act with integrity, and meet each shadow with courage. Step by step, moment by moment, the practices of the three I transform not only perception, but the very way life moves through you. May this awareness guide you toward clarity, resilience, and true spiritual freedom. Let the burden teach, let presence shape your actions, and let mastery unfold quietly within. If this journey resonates, join us on Shaolin Soulfire. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and continue walking the path of conscious strength and mindful mastery.